Hello, everybody. Welcome to something. It's my first time using microphone. If it sounds terrible, I don't know what to tell you. The other week, I read The Pregnancy Trope for I think like the first time. And I was thinking to myself, now that I've read that, I wonder how many of the popular tropes I have gotten to. And so I had my lovely husband
That's me.
pull up a list of 60 tropes. I didn't look at them. They're written on the back of these, and on the front of these is pictures to represent them, because I thought I would do a guessing game, then make it a checklist, and also tier rank all of these. Is that a pregnant person? Is that supposed to be a pregnant person? Surprise pregnancy is the first trope. I have indeed read the pregnancy trope recently. We can check that off the list with Out on a Limb. I also read one technically a couple years ago called Anna's Secret, which was not good. Out on a Limb was a 3.5. Anna's Secret was no good. But I feel like there's also more that I've read, but the surprise pregnancy of it all would actually be a spoiler for the whole book. Of course, successfully figuring out the sound means that I couldn't figure out the focus. So the next couple clips are out of focus. I'm gonna try to be decisive here and just put things where I feel like they should go. I'm putting surprise pregnancy in jail. Even if it turns out cute, even if the people, this is what brings them closer, even if it's supposed to show like comfort and stability and like we can do anything, I think it's stressful. I don't want to read about people getting pregnant if they didn't plan to. I think there's lots of good conversations that this trope can bring up though, and every single way the pregnancy could be handled, valid. It just stresses me out.
Which one feels right? Use your witchy powers.
Well, there's like something eating a flower, which is really scary. This one is just a division symbol. This is a rabbit. What is happening here?
Yeah, that was one of the last ones I did. It was very difficult.
Oh, okay, this one, that one is a magnet, so it's got to be opposites attract. And I've definitely read that enough times. Part of Your World was probably my favorite, like small town farmer. I can't even remember what he was up to. And then like a big city doctor. Astrid Parker would also be a good example of this. These two characters who have to work together even though they're totally different. Our tiers are elite, obsessed, indifferent, it depends, jail, or I haven't read enough to judge. I think these days I'm pretty indifferent to opposites attract. I do tend to like when people are more similar than they are different, though I like the excitement that opposites attract bring. And then it like encourages both people to be more open-minded, probably about different aspects of their world. This looks like balls on a gun. So I'm not gonna look at that one too closely.
Oops.
This one, it says home in Mexico. So I feel like this is probably a vacation romance.
She is right. Have you read a vacation romance?
Yeah. I've read a lot of vacation romance. The favorite is the classic people we meet on vacation. I love how many vacations we go to. And then I've also read stuff like The Romantic Agenda, Shipped, and The Honeymooners. None of those I loved as much. I'm obsessed with vacation stories. I love getting characters who get to see a different place. It's always exciting. And when you're on vacation, you can live like a different reality. And then there's always the going back to real life. And does this person feel the same about me now they're back in the real world? This looks like a go-kart.
Count the wheels.
And I can't
count the wheels.
Count the wheels. 2 wheels. I can't think of what that is. This is the infinity sign inside a heart. And I feel like that means like forever love, like everlasting lifetime love. So is that wrong?
So close.
Okay, show them and then I'll see it on the back what it is. Soulmates. Oh, okay.
Find each other in every lifetime. That's kind of what I was thinking is fated. You're always going to find each other no matter.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
I was thinking fated like two people who are born and they have to be together by the end of their life. Like they're meant, their families
okay.
have them like meant to be
So I was
together.
thinking Seven Deadly Sins, the anime, where their brains keep getting erased, but every 100 years, they keep finding each other and falling in love.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
I think I've read something like that. A Million Junes by Emily Henry is the first thing that came to mind for this. That's YA. But I feel like you could make an argument that some of the monster romance that I've read or alien romance that I've read would fit here too. I didn't like those as much, but maybe I need to explore paranormal romance more to get into the fatedness of it all. I'm putting this one into it depends. The inevitability of a relationship could be comforting sometimes, but also kind of boring at the same time. But if people are fighting against the fatedness of it all, that's kind of fun. Next, this looks like a book. and it says once, and I imagine he means once upon a time, so this is a fairy tale romance.
It is indeed a fairy tale retelling.
I was wondering if that's what this one was, because there's also like a lady trapped in a tower. I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head. Have I read any fairy tale retellings? I'm going to say yes to fairy tale retelling, but I don't know if I've read a fairy tale romance. Again, with a YA example, The Wrath and the Dawn comes to mind. Kind of fairy tale-esque, 1001 Nights retelling. But also, I think maybe The Never King would fit here, which I didn't like. I'm actually going to change my tiers because obsessed seems like obsessed should be the elite one. So I'm going to change that one to love. And I'm going to change this one to like, so it's love, like, and then it depends, because I don't need to be indifferent. Indifferent could kind of fit into it depends. Anyway, fairy tale retelling. I can't put jail, but I think it depends. Like, this isn't something that I seek out. I didn't grow up with a lot of fairy tales like being important to me. It's not something that necessarily interests me. This one now I'm thinking is a lady in a tower. Is there like damsel in distress on the list? Is that one?
It is.
Oh, yay! Okay.
So I just did the only damsel I can think of, which is Rapunzel.
Again, I haven't read too many fairy tale retellings, but I imagine I've read damsel in distress. Yes, I think Tusk Love would fit that. Also, maybe Ice Planet Barbarians for this one, Crash Landing, They Need Help. In a more realistic sense, I also think something like Waking Olivia would fit here, or Whispers and Roars, where the main character is going through something mentally that they're being helped with. Damsel in distress, I think this depends, because I do like a really strong character who's going to help someone, but I also like a strong-willed protagonist at the same time. I don't want somebody who just needs to be saved, but it can be fun. What is this? This looks like Frankenstein, which makes me think it's like monster
I tried
romance?
doing Phineas Ferb Frankenstein.
Monster romance. We can check that one off. I have definitely read.
That's awesome.
Definitely read a monster romance. No big wins in this category yet, but I have read the monsters, the demons, the aliens. I haven't found anything great. I want to say it depends, but I actually think I'm going to put it in jail, because more often than not, it's like a shape-shifting situation where someone is a monster and a human, and I really don't like that. Like, I don't know why, I just don't like it. But if they're just a monster the entire time, it's also not the most interesting. But maybe it's just because I've read ones where they don't fully utilize their monstrous qualities, or it's like the whole point is to find their humanity, and I just don't know if that's the most interesting plot to me. This one is either a scientist or a teacher, and I don't think that scientist is a trope, so I'm gonna say this is a teacher trope. Boss. He's got a tie.
I didn't know how to do a boss, so I put him behind a desk with a tie.
Ooh, sadly, I think I have read a boss employee romance, and it's not good for me. A Dash of Salt and Pepper was not my favorite, but I also think that like The Bodyguard and The Wall of Winnipeg and Always Only You kind of fit into boss territory, but it's more like they're both employees for some grander thing. Like they're both being guided, even though there is kind of an imbalance of responsibility between the couple. I'm gonna put boss into jail, even if it's not against the law, even if it's not against the rules of the company. I think the power dynamic is something that makes me uncomfortable, and it's always going to make me uncomfortable. Oh, these people are so happy. He's also in a tie though. So is this coworker romance? Is it?
You know how long it took me to figure out what to draw? 2 coworkers on an iPad.
On an iPad. Great art.
I can't believe you got that one. That was like one of my last ones I did because I did not know what to do.
Maybe because it was right next to the boss one, I was just already having that in my mind. Coworker romance? Yes, I've definitely read. The Boyfriend Project, The Truth According to Ember, Love on the Brain. I think maybe a lot of Ali Hazelwood. That's the only one that I've read. And the only one I probably will read. Oh, other than Bride. I think a lot of hers have to do with coworker because they're workplace things. I didn't like Yours Truly. I didn't love Chef's Kiss. Most of these were 3 stars. We Could Be So Good. Yeah, I haven't found a fantastic coworker one yet. Coworkers, I think I like because usually they have similarities, and usually it is in like a rivals situation. If it's more in the taboo sense where they're not supposed to be together, then I don't really like it. So maybe it depends. I like people who have similar minds and similar goals, and they're going after something at the same time. Okay, this is like a farmer because he's got a thing in his mouth, but he's wearing Is he wearing, I think he might be wearing a cowboy hat, so I think this is a cowboy romance. It is! Unless you're counting Nicholas Sparks' The Longest Ride, which I guess I would, but that was 10 years ago. I have never read a contemporary cowboy romance. Like, there's so many out right now that people are loving, and I haven't read any of them.
Never read Brokeback Mountain?
Is that a book?
Isn't it? I thought it was.
Oh. I haven't fully tapped into cowboy romance. I think I must. Haven't read enough to judge is where I'm going to put the cowboy one. But maybe I also want to move the monster one down here, now that I'm just realizing this category even exists. This one is just a ruler.
Look at the numbers.
So, wait, what? 1 to 1,000? 0 to 1,000.
It's a big ruler.
What? Is it a big dick romance?
No. It's just it's what does a ruler count?
Yards?
Sure.
Meters?
And there's a big ruler.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was thinking that would be a teacher romance, but maybe not. Okay, now I know there's a teacher romance, so let me try to figure out which is the teacher romance. Wait, where would it be? Oh, wait, is it this one? Is it the one that says 22 plus 53 equals OMG?
No.
Oh, what's this one then? Oh, age gap. Okay, I guess I associate age gap with the teacher. Have I read an age gap? Sadly, yes. It isn't a trope that I read with intention. I did read You Made Full Death with Your Beauty, hated that. And then Part of Your World I liked, but I think in spite of it being an age gap. Age gap is jail. It's just jail. Like, maybe I've liked it 1 or 2 times, but more often than not, if the book is pitching itself as an age gap, the whole point is that there's an imbalance. There is someone who has to take care of the other person, or there's someone who has like a whole established life already, and this person is inserting themselves into it. And it's like, what's the rest of the family going to think about this? Or what are my friends going to think about this? And it just adds stress to a situation where I'm looking for a rom-com. We all know that by now. When I want a romance, I want it to be fun. Age gaps can be fun, but there is always an element of stress. I'm trying to find the teacher one. What do teachers have? A desk? Oh no, that's an alarm clock. Oh my God.
A little hole with your nose.
Okay, this one is a teacher romance. I reluctantly have indeed read a teacher romance, and I never will again. Slammed and Waking Olivia, I read against my will, and I've DNF'd like every other one once I realized it was a teacher-student relationship. Obviously, this is jail. We've established by now I don't like an imbalance of power. I just want people to have fun together and not have to worry about anything in the periphery. It could literally be a university course and the teacher is like 50 and the student is 50 also, and I still don't like it. Let me see what I'm looking for. Okay, like I know love triangle is a trope, so I'm gonna say that's this one. And I'm correct. I have read many a love triangle in my day. I need more love triangles in my life. I was thinking about all the classic ones like The Selection or The Hunger Games, Shatter Me, Twilight. I've read some fun ones like The Kiss of Deception. I've read some I hated, like with Lore of the Wilds. A Feather So Black was good. One True Loves was good. I guess you could call Magnolia Parks a love triangle, and I reluctantly liked that. I'm putting love triangle in love. I want a character to be deciding between multiple people. In fact, let them get with multiple people. This is elite. As long as someone's not really hurt by the end. I want them to choose between a couple people, but I want it to be like amicable. I want them to all be like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm not the right one for you. This other person is. I think too many people hated a love triangle for so many years, and it was overdone for so many years, and an imbalanced love triangle is not fun. But when each character is like equally reasonable and we could picture them with either of them, that makes it fun. And there's been so much like mess with love triangles in media that people hate it, and then people stopped writing it, and I think we need to bring it back in a big way. This one is just like concerning to me. It looks like a man is ripping out this woman's heart. Do you want to give me like a little hint of what I'm looking at?
What are they doing?
They look like they're getting married because she's in a dress.
Okay, so that's the first part of it. If you say
then he
doing
kills
it
her?
In Vegas, what would that be called? Because
oh God,
it's
I don't
quick
know.
and
Marriage of Convenience?
yeah. I didn't know how to convey convenience.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one. Thank you for your artistic effort. I love a marriage of convenience. It goes hand in hand with fake dating to me. It's like people who have to be together for a greater goal. I just think I can't help but fall for you, even when I am so sure that I won't, is elite. And if it's a marriage of convenience, then we might have a wedding actually in it, which is one of my favorite things. I don't remember how many of these end in an actual marriage. Maybe it's just mostly engagement, but we've got Dating Dr. Dill, Kiss Her Once for Me, although that marriage is between her and someone else, and then she gets with his sister. A Proposal You Can't Refuse, Devon and Chris Plan a Wedding. That's for a reality show. The Partner Plot, Only Because It's You. That's so he can get a green card. The Beautiful Ones is a little fantastical one that I liked. Marriage of Convenience is obviously elite. Two people who are equally benefiting from a relationship, and on paper, they make this agreement, but then they can't help it. They have to get together for real. And like in the end, if they already got married, they're in the perfect situation. They don't have to do it all over again. Like they're already in the perfect life scenario. Okay, I want to know what this one is because it looks like a bunch of people and then one of them is a dog. There's 5 people, one of them is on all 4s. And is this person like on their back?
I drew it wrong. I just went with it once I made a mistake.
Okay, I'm gonna have to find out what it is. A harem. Right, that does make sense. That makes a lot of sense. Now, is there also reverse harem here or is it only harem? Because I feel like harem, I actually don't really know what it means. I think it's like one man and a bunch of women. Am I looking for a reverse harem too?
No, that was not in here.
Oh, okay. So harem's just like one person of one gender, I guess, and then a whole bunch of people of the other gender that they get to be all with. Is this the same as Why Choose? Because I do think that could be for me. I just definitely haven't read anything that I have liked, but this idea was in like Dino Island, which was terrible, The Never King, which was terrible, and that chicken nugget slop. I think this is my first official call for recommendations. In theory, a harem is for me. I think it sounds like, not for me, but for my reading taste, but I haven't read a good one. And also I feel like if I were to pick some up that were recommended, they all sound so stressful. And I just want it to be fun. And are there fun ones that aren't super fantastical? Like, do we have real world ones where like everyone is genuinely happy to be there? Oh, maybe that means I have to put it in haven't read enough to judge. Now I'm looking for fake dating because I know that it's here somewhere.
What did I draw for that one?
There's a lot of these where there's just like people doing something together. I'm gonna say it's this one. Okay, and that one actually is Friends to Lovers.
They're shaking hands, going to kissing.
Show me again. Shaking hands, going to, oh, that's lips.
I told you that's the one that I yelled out. I screwed it up.
I thought it was a road. Friends to Lovers, I've absolutely read. Again, People Who Meet on Vacation is the elite one, but I've read Love Light Farms that I liked. Javi and Mari, which I hated. Promise Me Sunshine, like I guess they kind of become friends. It's kind of like a hate to like to love, and I like that one. You Again was good. The Sizzle Paradox wasn't. The Friendship Contract was okay. 2 years ago, I would have put Friends to Lovers in It Depends. 5 years ago, I would have put it in Jail. Right now, I'm putting it in like, because I think I've just gotten lucky with the ones that have worked out for me. I don't always love an established relationship. And when there's people who are just so comfortable with each other, I don't think there's enough tension, but I think there's enough books that have like laid some good groundwork and developed this well that I think I like it. Okay, tell me what this phallic gun is about, I think. Like, what would this be? It's like shooting that looks like a grenade or a bullet or a caterpillar. I'm gonna say it's an action romance. Mafia.
Tommy gun, used by all the mafiosos. And then I put a cigar at the top. Kind of looks like a Divi, actually.
That's a cigar?
It's supposed to be.
Oh. I don't think I've ever read a mafia romance. I don't know if I would want to. The closest I've gotten is Magnolia Parks, reluctantly, because I think that barely counts. Mafia, I have to put in haven't read enough to judge, of course. It sounds too stressful, but maybe there are ones that aren't. I think inherently when someone is a part of the mafia, like they're doing bad things, but I don't actually know.
I don't remember what that one is, the one that you're staring
This
at.
one? Okay, it's either a house is falling or it's a giant pencil coming at people. I think it's the trope of a water tower falling on the community.
Hopefully it makes sense when you read it.
Step parent or step sibling?
Stairs. That's what it was. It was stairs.
Can I see it again? Oh, that absolutely looks like stairs. I have to say, I think this is one of the very few tropes that I haven't come across, and I don't think I want to. I just want to have more fun, and I think this trope is a little like morally, there's too many conversations, it's a little too taboo. Step parent sibling, like that's jail. I just think it's obviously stressful and it brings in moral quandaries, and I just don't want to have to worry about it. It doesn't appeal to me at all. To be fair, I also haven't read enough to technically judge, so I could move it down, but I don't want to. I can't think of what this one would be besides like religious romance, but I feel like religious romance isn't a trope. So priest? Have I read a priest romance? I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, kind of a weird one when I read it. I was like, is that a thing, really?
I suppose this could be a wholesome thing, like a really lovely, lighthearted priest romance, but I'm thinking of it in a forbidden kind of way. So yeah, I've never read it. I guess I have to put priest in haven't read enough to judge, but I don't want to. But I think I also just don't know what it entails. I don't want to put it in jail because that seems mean. And just because I don't want to read about people with like religion really impacting their life and their career and everything doesn't mean it wouldn't be good. This one's just a division sign. So division implies that people are breaking up, like they're together, but then they're not. No, it wouldn't be second chance. I feel like you'd do something different for that. Maybe this is like the third act breakup. Class divide. It's a literal one. Okay, divide. Yeah, I've definitely read a book about class division. I'm sure there's so much fantasy that I've read that I just don't really think about the class divide, but I know that there's been so many where it's like, you know, somebody from the poor class realizing there's this rich upper class and thinking that they won't like them, but then, you know, they can't help but fall for each other. I feel like The Notebook would fit here. Part of Your World kind of fits. Out on a Limb kind of fits. More so just somebody with a little bit more money, and therefore the other person is questioning, like, am I good enough to be with this person? We're putting this in It Depends. I don't think the money element of books really intrigues me that much, and like this could create tension for sure and kind of a forbidden situation, and it just doesn't sound that fun. And I also don't care to read about people like being taken care of. It's like, oh, I got into this fancy world and I had to learn how to fit in and I have all this money now. Like that doesn't really appeal to me, but I think I've read some that I have liked. Ooh, this one is definitely sports. We've got a golf club, a hockey stick, and a baseball. I love myself the idea of a sports romance, so I've definitely read it. I don't know that I've found that many that I love. I've read The Deal. I think that was my first hockey one, and that's becoming a show, which I think I'm going to tune into. I liked it. I've read The Fake Out, Heated Rivalry, which was good, The Bromance Book Club, which was not. I'm sure there's some others, but I definitely gravitate towards hockey. Sports, I'm putting in love. It could be elite if I ever found a 5-star, but there's never enough sports in a sports romance, so I'd rather just read a sports book that doesn't have romance. Ooh, is this one Grumpy Sunshine? Because there's like a mad person and a happy person. Is that it? Ah, it is! Grumpy Sunshine I've definitely read more in my past. I don't think it's something I'm actively seeking anymore. Has this little pigeon been stealing the focus from my face? Assistant to the Villain comes to mind, the rom-commers. Maybe beach read. I feel like there's a lot of books that are pitched as Grumpy Sunshine that don't fully embody that actually. I am putting this in Depends. I would have put Grumpy Sunshine in Elite or Love back in the day, but a lot of them are just the idea of having to convince someone to be having a good time, convince someone that you're fun, and then also the sunshine of it all is sometimes a little too far. Like they're a little too goofy. They don't take anything seriously. And the ones that are just more caricatures of the Grumpy Sunshine, I do not like. And if there are characters who are just like boring or not like obsessed with the main character right away, that doesn't necessarily make them grumpy. So I don't know if this tag is utilized correctly or if I've read it utilized correctly. So I just think it depends. Okay, is this one a celebrity romance? Because it's a star, and I'm thinking like, it's about a star. That's my guess. Celebrity, I got it. I have been very against the celebrity romance in the past, but I have read it. The Bodyguard is one example that did go well for me after a lot of years of reading some YA that I hated. I think I DNF'd a lot. Red, White, and Royal Blue kind of fits. There's a bunch of sports ones that I think would fit because they're a celebrity in that sense. As long as it's not too much about like public perception of them and the love interest thinking like, does this person actually like me when there's hordes of fans waiting outside? I have liked some books recently that have like actors as main characters, but it wasn't really about the fame of it all. It just treated acting like any other job. So technical, like actual celebrity, like star, I'm falling in love with a movie star and all of their fans hate our relationship. Like that's not something that I'm interested in at all and I don't like. I don't know what this is. There's 3 people and they're all crossed out and there's a heart that says you. So, ooh, this could be like, oh, is it like I hate everyone but you? Or it could be, like, I don't know how the list would have phrased it, like the slut romance, where it's like somebody has slept around a lot and then they're like finally falling in love with the main character. I don't know. I hate everyone but you.
Ding, 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 ding.
I think of that one more as a trope, like within other tropes. I don't think of that as like a standalone one that you would pitch a book as, but I guess. Have I read that? Probably, because it kind of goes along with Grumpy Sunshine too, if like the character is somebody who doesn't like anybody. Maybe Heated Rivalry would fit for this. I'm sure there's a lot of fantasy that I'm not thinking about. Maybe like Delilah Green. I feel like that's kind of pitched. I don't know, trying to figure out, is it Grumpy Sunshine or is it I Hate Everyone But You is difficult. We're putting this the same with Grumpy Sunshine. It depends how it's done. The older I get, the less I'm interested in it. But there are some good ones, of course. In this image, we have a person who I think is being thrown into a trash can. And the first thing that came to mind is a bully romance, which I've never read. Well, maybe I have, but I feel like this is a trope people talk about a lot. Okay, it is a bully romance. Why is A Walk to Remember the only thing coming to mind right now? I think maybe The Cruel Prince, like someone has said The Cruel Prince is kind of a bully romance. I don't think I've fully experienced this. Like somebody actively wanting to harm the other person and then they can't help but fall in love. This one has to go in jail, I think, because it implies that they are actually like a bad person. It's not like a misunderstanding that somebody didn't like somebody or was a little bit mean. Like it's an actual, if it's an actual bully romance where someone is mean to somebody else and then they convince them to be with them anyway, or they fall in love anyway. I just don't think that that's interesting. And I don't think that, like with any of these, I don't think that romance books have to teach a moral lesson to be good. I don't feel that way at all. I know a lot of readers do. So obviously there is the idea of like us teaching little girls that when somebody is mean to you, when somebody's pulling your pigtails or whatever, that just means they have a crush on you. I hate that in reality. But I don't think liking something in a book means you have to agree with it in reality. So I'm not casting judgment on anybody else. I'm sure a bully romance can be fun for some people, not for me. Oh, wait, is this Playboy? I was like, what is this rabbit? Because this could be the one that's about like a slutty man who settles down with the main character. It is. Good work, babe.
Thanks.
I recall Hook, Line, and Sinker being this. He slept around a lot, and so it was hard for her to want to be interested. Or maybe she was more interested because she didn't want a relationship, and she was like, oh, we can just sleep together and it won't mean anything to him. Oh, and then also Till Summer Do Us Part, which I loved. I didn't really like Hook, Line, and Sinker, but that one was good. I feel like that's the premise. I feel like that's his background. I don't know where I want to rank this one. I kind of feel like I like it because a character with experience is pretty fun. We didn't get a play girl category, so I'm just going to consider this like either having a lot of experience and the other one, I guess it doesn't. Like, I kind of like that. I don't see why not. I think the idea of like being like the special, super great one that somebody finally settles down for after sleeping with everyone else who wasn't good enough for them, that one's questionable. But as a concept, I think I like it. This one is clearly a police officer. It's a great piece of artwork. I guess a cop romance is a thing. I've read one of these. Oh, it's Men in Uniform.
Like, could that be a firefighter, army, just anyone that has a uniform?
Vanessa Jarrett is one of the few references that I have. I'm pretty sure he was a sheriff. I don't think that I care to read this, but I have to put it in. I haven't read enough to technically judge. Even if I don't like someone for me, doesn't mean I wouldn't like it for a character. This is a beautiful piece of art, so I'm just gonna do this one because it's like somebody eating a rose. And I feel like if I didn't already do monster romance, this is what I would guess for this. Is demon like devil? No, I feel like if it was a devil, you would do like horns. Eating your love, consumption.
Take it more literal, more literal.
Eating flowers, devouring the flower.
Okay, not
virgin.
That literal. Not that literal. No, I regret that. There's a movie that has both of those things in it.
Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, this is Beauty and the Beast
old as
specific.
time.
We already did retelling, fairy tale, so I wonder why that's a specific one. I wonder if it means it's literal, like it's a beauty and a beast.
Maybe.
Like who fall in love. In Radiance, I guess they both think each other are ugly, but I don't think I've read something where like society views one of these people as beautiful and one is ugly, and then they have to like overcome, I don't know, like do they become beautiful in the public's eye, or is it about beauty in the eye of the beholder? Like I don't fully think I even know what this is. I feel like I have to put this in, I haven't read enough to judge, but I want to put it in jail because I don't think this is appealing at all. The idea of an ugly character for the purposes of like growing and changing, or other people growing and changing, like I don't see the purpose of it. But you tell me if I'm misunderstanding it or if there's something you'd recommend. Okay, this is the Ghostbusters vehicle. So I'm gonna say this is a ghost romance. Road Trip.
I put a canoe on top of a van.
Oh, I thought this was like their ghost sucker machine.
Okay. Anyways.
I was so confident with that one. Road Trip romance, I have read. Check it off. A lot of YA back in the day had this as a plot point, and I didn't like it, and so I didn't pick up very many other things. But more recently, I have read Mrs. Nash's Ashes that I liked, and then female fantasy had a lot of the story in a road trip, and I thought it was fun. It definitely depends. That's where I'm gonna slot that today. I like close proximity. I like where people are stuck together, but I also like a cozier feeling when people are in their town, they're in a house, they're in businesses, like they're not traveling to a million different places. Vacation is different because usually it's one specific place they're traveling to and they're staying there. Road trip is like, oh my God, we have to get gas, we have to stop at this gas station, we have to go here. I think I like it more in other genres over romance. This one
very difficult.
Is a skull and bones, but there's a person poking. So I don't know if this is some kind of death. This has to be some kind of death. Bringing the dead to life, like we're like a resurrection romance. That's my guess. Touch Her and Die. Touch Her. I get it. I have read that. In fact, I love it. I love an overbearing, protective love interest for sure. Overprotectiveness can definitely be a red flag. It can definitely be a turnoff. But in a book, I just think it's fun. I don't even know any examples. There's probably examples of books that I hated that still had this like metal slinger. I think Lights Out had it, which was a fun one. Maybe Butcher and Blackbird, where the character's like already doing bad stuff. So it's kind of easy to be like, oh, I'll kill anyone for you. Yeah, I'm gonna say I love it. Call me toxic. Kill everyone else to save the girl. This woman is being spied on.
Let me see. Oh.
I think this could probably be a stalker romance. Yeah, I'm gonna say stalker romance. Yay! I have read a stalker romance. I think I've only read one. Lights Out was so fun. Like I said, I don't want to read anything else in this vein again. Even though I haven't read very many stalker romances, I feel like this kind of subverted a lot of what they typically do. Stalker is in jail. For sure. The only reason Lights Out worked is because it was so stupid and it was self-aware and it was funny. And both people like were on board for the stalking in general. We don't need to perpetuate that that's a sexy thing. I don't like this one because it's like an adult and a child. And I don't think that that would be a romance trope. So perhaps it is parent. What are you doing? He's giving me hand signals to guess it. I think this is like a single parent, unless there's a better one. Yay! Have I read it? Yes. Have I loved it? No. I typically give them 3 stars, like Delilah Green, the soulmate equation, funny feeling, if it makes you happy. These were 3 and 4 stars. I don't know that I would ever totally love this because I just feel like it's a little stressful. I think single parent, I'm gonna put in depends. I can't put it in jail. Like that just seems so wrong. I don't hate it every time. I just feel like there are so many conversations about when to introduce your child to this person, if they're gonna be a good parent, if they're overstepping, how the ex-partner is gonna feel about it, or they lost their partner and then we're dealing with grief, and it's not very often fun and lighthearted, which doesn't make it bad, just not for me. This looks like either a match or a broomstick. Fire, flame romance, or a witch romance. But I feel like if it was a witch romance, he would put a witch hat. This could be the witch hat. So I'm gonna go with match. Oh, matchmaker. A matchmaker room. Slow burn. Oh, burn. It's burning slowly.
Down the wick a little bit.
Everyone say great interpretation from Rob. I have most definitely read a slow burn romance, and I prefer it. I feel like a lot of people prefer slow burn over insta love because you want to wait, you want to feel the tension. I don't know if I want to wait like 5 books in a series. I don't read series very often, so I don't think I've experienced that kind of a slow burn. But if you wait until like 75% of the way into a book, I'm into it. If you wait 99% of the way into a book, I'm probably not into it. Of course, slow burn is elite. There was never a question. If you have them sleeping together in the first like 50% of the book, what are we doing? Well, unless it's for a greater purpose, because sometimes it can be fun. This one looks like money, but it's also like in a book. So I think it's a bank robber romance or money in a book. Stop gesturing. It's like a I need to pay my bills romance. It's like a rich daddy, sugar daddy romance. Billionaire.
Same thing. I'll take it.
Same kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Is sugar daddy also in here?
No.
Oh, billionaire romance. The only one I can think of is 50 Shades of Grey. Which is horrifying that I've read. This was 15 years ago, rather, and not appealing in general. So I don't know that I can cast too much judgment on if I like a billionaire romance, but I feel like no. I'm putting billionaire into depends, or I guess I'm putting it into I haven't read enough to judge. In my mind, they're all so similar. It's like the main character doesn't have any money, and then they're falling in love with someone who has all of the money, and they get to experience this new world. And then usually they're like, oh no, I can't possibly take your money. I don't want to take advantage of you. I don't want you to think I'm there for the money. But the ethics involved with being a billionaire and falling in love with a billionaire, and billionaire implying that they are keeping that money and hoarding that money if they're actively a billionaire, that's jail. This is interesting because it looks like a badge, and I would have associated this one with the cop romance. So what else would a badge imply? Mall cop?
The whole genre of mall cops?
Badge. Paw Patrol?
You said mall cop. What is their profession? What is it called?
Security guard?
Close enough.
A security guard romance.
Kind of.
That sounds fun. Oh, bodyguard. I have definitely read a bodyguard romance. I think the only one I've read is the other way around, though, than is typical. It's a woman protecting a man as her job. I definitely haven't read enough bodyguard stuff to know for sure. I feel like I would put it in love, but right now I have to leave it down here. Overprotectiveness, love it, but the imbalance between the two characters, I just don't know that I would be super into. Because it is also like a falling in love with an employee type situation. There's 2 people with masks on, and then 2 people growing out of their bodies, and then there's a warning sign.
Okay, what's on their face?
Masks.
What do those do?
Hide.
And if they both have it?
Oh, like a masquerade? Fake dating?
It's their personalities behind them as shadows because the masks are covering their faces.
Wow, I love that. Fake dating is my favorite trope. It's elite. I will hear no different. Because I love it so much, this is the trope I have read the most. I've read some bad ones because I've read so much. Like the Breakup Pact was fine, the Kiss Countdown, the On Honeymooners, the Fake Out, but there were incredible ones like Happy Place, The Wedding Crasher, Till Summer Do Us Part, Honey and Spice. I liked Love Light Farms. I thought Written in the Stars was okay. To All the Boys I've Loved Before is a really classic one. I have a good time with fake dating. Elite. Making the contract, agreeing that you're both going to benefit from something. Usually one person is like already kind of interested, but is denying their feelings, not being able to resist the other person, and then making rules and breaking them in an interpersonal way. Like that's just so fun. Come on. Oh, motorcycle? Oh my gosh, is this motorcycle?
See, she just needed a break and she got it right away.
We just had to charge the battery for a second. I was thinking go-kart. Motorcycle romance? What do you think? Do you think I've ever read a motorcycle romance?
I doubt it.
Yeah, no. Fast cars, loud engines, greasy bodies, not really appealing to me, but I could see someone in a book being into it and maybe I could like that for them. Definitely haven't read enough to judge. I don't think that I would love this because when it comes to a motorcycle book, I feel like it's a motorcycle gang, motorcycle club. And doesn't that come along with the same danger maybe as like mafia books? Or maybe I don't fully understand. This one's interesting. It's like a nightstand. Oh my God, is it a one night stand? It is. Ah.
Literal.
It's got an alarm clock and a phone.
It's one nightstand.
It's hard to know if I've read a one night stand book because obviously the whole point is that they think it's going to be a one night stand and then it isn't. So can I remember that ever happening in a book? Yes, that pregnancy one out on a limb. It was just supposed to be one night and then turned into more because things came of it. And then also Kiss Her Once for Me, they had a one night stand, and then I think months, years, question mark, later, they ran into each other again. Part of Your World was also, I think, supposed to just be a one night thing. I don't think I like a one night stand because I don't want insta love, but sleeping together doesn't necessarily imply they're in love. But I do think it removes some of the tension right away. But where I think a one night stand can be for me is if there's friends who have a lot of like built up sexual tension and they decide just to be together for one night. And then they're like pining over each other for the rest of the book. That I think could be fun. I don't even know if I've ever read that. I think I have. I just can't pinpoint what it would be. And I think it's fun. Okay, this one is interesting. It's like a little person growing into a bigger person. So a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids trope. Never heard of that. Or no, it's the other way around. So like a Godzilla, the Godzilla trope. Or no, wait, King Kong? What's something that, Flubber? What's something that is like made and then grows in like a factory? Is it like sentient doll? Is it like a doll becoming a person, a baby becoming a...
You're thinking way too deep.
So like a child growing into an adult. What's the romance? All grown up. What is that? That sounds like someone fell in love with a child and now they're going to be with them now that they're an adult. I don't like that.
So Woody Harrelson's biopic. That's great.
Woody Harrelson?
That's his name?
Woody Allen?
Woody Allen.
You just slandered Woody Harrelson's name.
Take me out. Fix it in post.
I think this can mean just seeing someone as all grown up. So you could be the same age or like near the same age. You saw them as a child and then didn't see them again until you were both grown up. So like all grown up in that way. I'm putting this in jail just because I, in my head, am imagining something very specific that doesn't make me feel good. This one is also childlike. So I'm thinking this is probably childhood, what is it? Childhood friends to lovers? Playground. Swingers. Childhood crush. Got it. Is Swingers in here? I don't know if I've read that. I have The Dating Plan. I can't think of many other examples, but I know that I've read them. I just maybe don't remember that type of information, like when in life that they met. Pining over somebody for your entire life is not something that I get excited to read, so maybe I don't pick it up very often, but The Dating Plan definitely fits. I think childhood crush can work for me if it's not somebody who's just been obsessed with someone for 30 years. Like if they have had a full life and they have been with so many other people and they fully experienced love and whatever else elsewhere, and then they're like, oh, I'm getting back to the childhood crush that I never really forgot about. Like I think that's sweet. And again, this isn't a book, not in real life. Like in real life, this is so cute. You being so convinced that like this is the person for you, they're gonna love me one day, and then they finally see you as being a love interest. Like I just don't like it in a book. This one is either two hands, but it could also be 2 feet. And it looks like there's a bone in between them. So it's like a wishbone romance. A foot fetish wishbone romance. Close proximity. It's not what I was thinking. Thank you, Rob, for your artistic work.
Judging you.
This can mean literally in an enclosed space, or just the characters are constantly having to be in close proximity to each other, maybe leading up to an event or something. Till Summer Do Us Part, they have to attend this thing together, like couples counseling, even though they aren't actually a couple. So they're together many times over weeks. Does It Hurt? They were trapped in a lighthouse together, so very stuck. Any Trope But You, they're together as in like they have cabins near each other, but then also it's close proximity because there's moments where they have to be in the same sleeping bag together. Yeah. I think close proximity is elite when people are stuck together. Hello. Okay, this one is definitely masquerade romance. Disguise, same thing. It's a lady with things on her face. All I'm thinking about is that Hilary Duff Cinderella story movie. Have I read a book where they're in a disguise? I guess it depends on what kind of disguise I'm thinking of. Lights Out, obviously he has a mask to hide his identity, but I really can't think of many other moments where this has happened. I can't think of any like masquerade type books that I've read. Maybe I need to. Disguise, I'm gonna put in haven't read enough. Like I would love to read more masquerade type books. What other disguise can you have? And why would you need to disguise yourself? There's like a spy implication that I don't really like because I don't like going into books where somebody is doing something malicious, but I think a disguise could be fun. Let's reshuffle here. Okay, this one is, there's nothing on it except for, it looks like little houses. There's 3 little houses. And then something, a bridge or something, a neighborhood romance. This is a swingers. Everyone is in on the romance. Small town. Oh, it's a small town. I have most definitely read a romance in a small town. I love a small town, not just in a romance, but in every book, because it's just like knowing everybody, and there's the coziness of walking around and seeing everything that's so familiar and so warm, and like everyone knows everything about everyone. And also you can't help but constantly bump into your love interest. This one is a clock. So I think it's like turning back time or time travel romance. Yay! I love a time travel romance. Everybody knows that about me. Faves would be The 7-Year Slip, Love of My Afterlife. I didn't like One Last Stop as much as I should have. The Deja Glitch would also fit for that. And then I liked a love song for Ricky Wilde. I think that's what it was called. Elite. But that's just books that play with time in general. Like, I love that. I love people getting to experience different things, going back, changing one thing. It doesn't always work, but the concept of it is the best. Okay, this one has a witch. Wait. That might not be a witch hat. No, but it's stars and a witch hat. This is a witch romance. Snowed In. Oh, it's a Santa Claus romance. I don't know if I've read a snow. Oh yeah, I have. I have definitely read one. Any Trope But You. She is at this retreat and he is also there. He lives there. There's a lot of snow. I feel like maybe a lot of like holiday Christmassy romance have this, but I can't think of specific ones. But I think this one, there's moments where they are stuck somewhere because of the weather. Snowed In is just like Close Proximity. So we're gonna put it as elite, like when you're stuck together, trapped together, especially in the colder season. It's like we have to huddle together for warmth. Okay, I quite like this illustration. It's my favorite. It's like a demon and an angel. So demon angel romance, I've never heard of. Multiple personality romance, because it's not two different people. It's one person. He's shaking his head like I'm wrong. Demon angel romance then. Enemies to lovers. Okay, it is about two different people. I guess you can be an enemy lover with yourself. I quite like enemies to lovers. I like the idea of it. I think what I actually like is rivals to lovers, and that wasn't on the list. So enemies to lovers examples, like I'm sure there are so many that I've read. Maybe something like Quicksilver or Dance of Thieves. How You Lose the Time War I guess that would be enemies. Real life contemporary stuff, like are you really enemies with your coworker? I think rivals makes more sense. I love rivals to lovers, where people aren't on opposing sides. They both have a common goal and they're fighting to like be the best at something or to get an opportunity. There's titles that are so literal, like Heated Rivalry or Rivalry of Hearts that I like. Emily Wilde and The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love are perfect examples in some of my favorite books. The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, not in my book. And I'm sure there's plenty of examples that I also haven't loved, like Great BBL. I'm gonna go ahead and put enemies to lovers in It Depends, because if you pitch a contemporary like that these days, I'm not really buying it. But in a fantasy book, when there are warring clans or something, that's not like my #1 book I'm gonna pick up, but I still think it's good. Rivals to lovers is elite. People who are competing for something, they both care so passionately about something, and they often respect the other person because they're so similar, but they're both bringing different things to the table, that they're both qualified for whatever they're gonna do. And there's usually a game involved, and like, I can't wait to see who's gonna win the thing and how it's all gonna work out. This one is a medical romance. So hospital romance or doctor romance. Caretakers, I guess that's the same thing, but it could also just be someone taking care of someone else when they're sick. A whole book like this, not necessarily going to be my favorite, but Promise Me Sunshine almost was this. It wasn't caretaking for somebody, but it was going out of your way to support them when they're going through grief and like constantly being the person that they go to. I feel like the only other example would be Me Before You, which definitely a questionable one. Other than caretaking for the love interest, like maybe caretaking for their child, which brings us back into the single parent often trope, and like I'm not gonna mess with like a nanny romance. It depends, because I like a caretaking moment. I, like all the other girlies, am falling for someone in a book when they are making soup and they're coming over to the other person's house when they didn't show up somewhere, and they're like, are you okay? And they're like, I'm sick. And it's like, why didn't you tell me? I'm here to take care of you. But if it's the entire book, I don't think so. This one is interesting. It's got a snowman, but also a pumpkin, but also a flower, and then some kind of like mouse rat creature. So this is like maybe, oh, I was going to say seasons, like all the seasons, or like if that's a rabbit, it could be Easter. And then it's like a holiday. Is it a holiday romance? Holiday romance. What is that? Is it a bunny?
A really fucked up bunny.
Oh, it is a bunny.
Yeah,
okay.
real fucked up.
Beautiful.
I ran out of space.
Oh, sorry.
Just ninja starring me, why don't you?
Of all the holidays, I feel like most of us have read Christmas the most, so I'm sure I have plenty that I've read. I don't think I've ever given a 5-star to a Christmas book, but I love a holiday occasion. Usually it's people like from families who used to spend time together and they get together every holiday season, and there's cute little moments like shopping for the Christmas tree or whatever. Maybe I like this more as a movie, but I still think I really like it in a book. Oh, this one's Second Chance, because it's got a 2 in a circle. Second Chance. This is a trope I didn't used to like, but I've definitely read it, and I think I'm getting more into it. It all depends on how it's done. I have liked these more than usual recently, because as I always say, I need to see the couple together at the beginning of their relationship. I don't just kind of want to hear about it. Like, I want to be in that timeline. Forget Me Not did this really well. I really liked Happy Place. It's Different This Time was good. 7 Days in June. That one's kind of an anomaly because it does have to do with parenthood. I liked Fool Me Once. I'm sure I have a bunch of examples of ones I didn't like, but I've gotten more on board with this one. Just like Friends to Lovers, Second Chance, I would have put in something I didn't like years ago, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little more. I think I kind of love it depending on where it is. So I'm going to say like, but also it kind of depends, as long as we get both timelines, because I don't like established relationships where I don't get to see what pulled you together the first time. Like, I have to see that to love it, and they don't all do that. In fact, a lot of them leave out stuff, and then there's all of this stress the second time. But if it's mostly lighthearted and fun, I like it. I think this one is very interesting. It's a heart with a snake around it. So I don't know what I would think that that implies. Like an evil snake, sneaky, dangerous? Like a dangerous romance? Or like a slithering romance? I don't know what you're doing with your hands. I don't know. Forbidden love. I don't think I ever would have gotten there, but I love the design. I think a lot of different tropes kind of fit into forbidden love, so I know for sure I've read forbidden love. I tried to think of ones not already listed. I feel like forbidden is just this broad overlook, and a bunch of the tropes would fit inside of forbidden love. Maybe unfairly forbidden love I would enjoy more, but forbidden, like objectively, like, oh, I shouldn't like my teacher, I shouldn't like my boss, like I'm not really into those. I'm gonna put this in It Depends, because there's so much forbidden stuff that I would not want to read, but there's so much forbidden stuff that makes it fun. I still haven't figured out this ruler. It's a big ruler, huge ruler.
What does it measure if it's huge?
A house. What's bigger? What would it measure? The street? Okay, I have to skip that again. There's another house here. We've done a couple houses, and it's like there's no house and then a house. So it's like somebody moving to a new neighborhood, finding the love of your life. Return to hometown. Oh, return. Got it. So like every Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
I like this in movies better for sure. I like to be able to see the appeal, and we can get a lot of flashbacks, which I don't necessarily like to read, but I would like to watch. One that comes to mind is like My December Darling. I think a lot of these happen around Christmas time because it's going back to the small town for your family rather than a storyline that's like, oh, I have to go back to my small town to take care of someone who's sick because that's sad. Or I have to go back to my small town because I failed at my business or something, which is also sad. This is going in It Depends because I feel like returning to hometown a lot of times is steeped in sad circumstances. But if the book is leading to returning to the hometown, I think that's fun. I remember in Any Trope But You, and it doesn't even have to be a small town, it can be any town. Any Trope But You had, I think he was moving to like Los Angeles. They were both originally from there. He went to have this cabin like retreat to help his father, and then wanted to move back to where he was originally from to have the job he always wanted. And it's like everybody kind of gets what they want by the end. As long as it's a good feeling by the end, then yeah. This one looks like Instagram, so I think it's a social media influencer romance. Insta love. Oh, you're funny.
Oh.
But I've read it. This is a hard one to parse for me because I know there's been so many times that I've complained, oh, this book was so insta love. but I can't in this moment think of ones specifically that fit into that, or ones that for people who are looking for insta love, it would appeal to them. Jail, 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 jail. Insta lust is different, but that isn't the option. This one is a map. It says you are here, go here. But then there's also like an engagement ring at the end. So I want to decipher this one.
I'm proud of that one.
Because it's not just a proposal romance or an engagement romance, because that's not a trope. It's like so we did marriage of convenience. I feel like it's in that realm. It's like marriage of engaged. Which word is in it? Marriage or engage? Marriage.
You're right there.
I know.
You're scraping the surface.
Arranged marriage? Is it? Arranged marriage.
Tell me where to go.
Oh, yes! I think I've read arranged marriage in like a fantasy sense. I don't know if I've read a contemporary arranged marriage. Bride, Radiance, Shield of Sparrows, that Reign of Shadows and Endings one where people are connected because like their families need to make a deal or something. I've definitely read plenty of those. This can kind of feel like fake dating sometimes, or marriage of convenience. It's like there's a reason why you're together. And I do think there's obviously a lot of bad ideas with arranged marriage if we're talking about contemporary and being forced into something, but this isn't forced marriage, it's arranged marriage. And there is this nice idea of people who know you so well, and you obviously consent to being set up in this relationship that people think would be good for you. I think it can go either way with if I would like it or not. This one is a face with an X, and maybe it's like a stranger. Oh, like secretly sent anonymous? An anonymous mistaken identity. What did I say?
Anonymous.
I said secret identity. Yeah. Mistaken identity. My favorite of all time. This is like a teenage nostalgic one, but I have reread it. It's The Undomestic Goddess, where she goes to a place for help, and they assume that she's there for an interview, and she just goes along with it and then falls in love with the gardener. But then there's also that Christmassy one that I DNF'd, where a woman meets a guy and she thinks that he's his famous brother, and he never tells her the truth and then sleeps with her. I haven't read enough mistaken identity. I know that I love mistaken identity in every other genre, but in romance, I haven't read enough of it. And this is very different. If you're going to give me recommendations, which I would love, this is so different than secret identity or stolen identity. Going into it with a malicious plan, not for me. But a mistaken identity, it's like, oh, I was here and you thought I was this person, and I'm going to go along with it briefly, or I have no choice but to go along with it. And then like, obviously it's going to blow up in everybody's face, but it can be in a fun way. It can be in a fun way. I've read a lot of horror and surrealism and fantasy that do this. I need some more in romance, like The Undomestic Goddess. We've already done Mafia, and when I see all of these like cards, it's like somebody's playing poker. I'm thinking of like Mafia for some reason. A gambling romance, a casino romance. If we did a billionaire romance, maybe we're doing like a poor person romance and they bet all their money away. I don't know what this is. Do you want to give me a clue?
I don't remember.
When people are making like a deal, like one of those books where people make like a bet, like a deal.
Like Howie Mandel and Deal and No Deal?
Yeah. Oh, bet. It's bet.
There you go.
Have I read a betting romance? Yeah. A terrible book, but weirdly addictive, Beautiful Disaster. They make some kind of bet. This was so long ago I read it. I think this has been adapted too. I don't actually remember what happens, but it's like if she fails at something, she has to move in with him. If he fails, he has to do something for her. Making a bet with each other, I think is kind of fun. But the types of movies that I'm thinking of where someone makes a bet behind the scenes, like, oh, I can bet this girl will fall in love with me in the next 10 days. I kind of like that in a movie, but I don't think I would like it in a book. And I can't think of any examples that I've read, but I have read things about deals, like The Deal. They make a pact together to do something, to accomplish goals. A deal with the devil. There's obviously a deal with the devil in that. A proper bet, like in the movies, is way too stressful. Like, I don't want to read that. But if they're making a bet between themselves, that turns it into a game and it's fun. So we have to put it in It Depends. Wait, didn't I just do this?
No.
Yes, I did.
No.
Oh, it's okay. That one's mistaken identity, not the identity. This is a secret identity. Yes. One of them is I accidentally thought you were someone. Secret identity is I was pretending to be someone. I think I've read that. This is most often in fantasy, I feel, if I've encountered it. And it would be spoilers to reveal like that someone was secretly royalty, or secretly a childhood friend of the protagonist, or secretly like just hiding something about it's usually like, you know, they're from different worlds and it's like, I can't tell them that I'm from this world. Secret identity is jail. Don't lie, don't trick, don't swindle. If you're trying to do something mean, that's stressful. Or secret identity can be like, I'm secretly a superhero. I'm secretly a billionaire. I'm secretly a celebrity. And in all those cases, like, I don't really like that trope anyway. This one I have been looking at and I cannot tell what it is.
It's terrible.
It's either books or it's juice boxes.
Flip it around.
It's a vending machine. It's a box of cigarettes. I think it's books. I think it's an author romance where two people are authors or it's coffins and they're dead.
That's closer. That's
okay.
Closer.
Roommates. Oh, those are beds. Those are beds. Those are absolutely beds. Although maybe the roommate stories I have read, they share one bed. Like in the Flat Share, they share the same bed, but they just sleep in it at different times. Funny Story, they become roommates. The Kiss Countdown, they become roommates. Hook, Line, and Sinker, they become roommates. My Roommate is a Vampire, obviously roommates. Interestingly, a lot of those ones, you see them become roommates. Like they don't know each other. They weren't friends already. They become roommates and then they fall in love. I don't know that I've ever read one where they're already roommates. Like a Friends to Lovers, where they've already been living together. Because like, where's the tension at all? I want to put it in It Depends, but I actually think I'm going to put it in Jail, because every time I have personally read it, and I would put it and haven't read enough to judge, but I've read it like 6 or 7 times and I have never liked it. I think the tension disappears so quickly, and though it is close proximity, and I do like the trope only one bed, when they're specifically having to live with each other, I just think it's too early in the relationship and it's not as fun as I want it to be. I'm leaving those two because I don't understand what's happening.
Very complicated. Very complicated.
This one is, I keep looking at it and I keep thinking, okay, it's like bondage, it's BDSM, but it could also be like kidnapping. So I think it's one of, oh, BDSM is the ruler. Okay, so this one is captive. Kidnapped, captive. I think I've read some kind of fantasy where like someone falls in love with their captor. Pestilence. The Never King, a bunch of books that I did not like, Reign of Shadows and Endings. Oftentimes the kidnapping is in like a marriage of convenience way though. So like the person is kind of into it, or like they know it's for a greater good, but I don't feel like this is ever fun. So I don't think it's something that I'm really looking for. This is obviously going in jail. There can be scenarios where it's for a greater good, but I think the trope of typically the captive falling for their captor is not very sexy. If the two people are held captive, like in Girls of Paper and Fire, and it's about surviving together and being together and falling in love in the worst of circumstances, sure. And then the ruler is BDSM. It's like teacher, it's like something long distance. Yeah, I wouldn't personally use a ruler if I'm measuring like someone who's like on the other side of the world. Like that would take a long time to measure, but I do see what you're going for, and I should have gotten that. I kept thinking age gap because I thought you were trying to say it's like 0 to 1,000 years old.
Well, I asked you, what does a ruler measure?
And I said the
distance. Is literally what it measures.
Long distance romance. Ooh, this is one I don't know if I've read. I feel like maybe there have been moments within the books that I've read where they have to be apart, but I don't know if the whole book has been a thing for me. No, I can't think of a long distance romance where the entire plot hinges on them being apart for the majority of the book. Definitely have to read more of that before I commit to a different category. Now I have 2 and they look the same, but they're obviously different. So one is they're best friends and there's someone else. They're falling in love with their best friend's child, which is strange. And then it's these best friends and this person's falling in love with one of the best friends. So
I mean, you're not wrong. That's amazing you got that from that.
It says BFF. You use letters.
I had to because there was no other way you were going to get it.
Okay, so like I fell in love with my ex's best friend. No, because then you would have put in like a broken heart in between the other ones. How are they connected? Best friends? Friend. Wait. Oh, is it siblings? Siblings, best friend, best friend's sibling. I think this is like a really fun trope. I'm gonna have to think if I have read anything, but I feel like yes, I feel like this is a really common one, especially when I was a teenager. I think the like brother's best friend was a real thing. In visual media, I couldn't get away from this trope. I feel like this was really a thing. But for books, I don't think I've read these until really recently. The Unhoneymooners, I think, has this. Female Fantasy is one where it is her brother's best friend. Yeah, I think that's one of the only brother's best friends that I've actually properly read. The Summer I Turned Pretty is a good example of one. I didn't love that series. The Dating Plan Works, it was like childhood crush because it was a brother's best friend. And then What a Match. I can't remember who's the best friend of who, but all of these definitely have some type of best friend's brother or brother's best friend. Ooh, actually, Till Summer Do Us Part. That one is best friend's, her female best friend's brother. So I have read both of these things. I think I need to keep these together. Best friend, sibling, sibling's best friend. There's like the closeness that feels like, oh, I can rant to you about your brother, or I can rant to my brother about you, but also they know that person better than anyone. And so they can help me with that person. I think it's nice. I think I like it, though I haven't technically read enough to judge. And that's all of my tiers finalized. I think it's pretty balanced. As always, I tend to try to see things from both sides. So there's a lot in the middle category, but a lot that I love. And I've done a couple different random tier rankings over the years, but never with such a thorough list. And maybe in like 10 years, we could revisit this and see if I would put anything in a different category. I do have 12 tropes in that bottom tier, and maybe I'm implying that I would like to read them more to be able to properly judge. Most of them scare me, but if you have recommendations, I'm all ears. That's it for me today. Peace out, A-Town. I'm sweating.